It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
Got my legal hustle, welcome to the trap. I could blow a stack, bet I make it back. You can hit my line if you need a track, but we can't even talk if it ain't about the bag. Got my legal hustle, welcome to the trap. I could blow a stack, bet I make it back. You can hit my line if you need a track, but we can't even talk if it ain't about the bag. My studio sessions turn into fireworks. These reptiles on me like a Lacoste shirt. Plain Jane make your eyes hurt. Fuck a sponsor. My mission to give it your price, but without the concert. Pandemic showed me I could get it off the muscle. I be grinding year round. Y'all be waiting for the summer. I just fill the gaps. Don't need a light for the tunnel. Y'all looking highly disgruntled. I use the mic for my hustle. Dog, I came up. Triple beam changed up. Built the team. Serving up the fiends through the screen. Living out the dream. Still independent. Don't need the red tape. Gang green. Cut the dead weight, that's my headspace. Yeah, I've been a boss, I just now embraced it. Feeling in W9s like an application. Strong mind, advantageous, planning vacations. I put my dogs in the business like I'm Baron Davis.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there. In this video, we're going to be getting into K Michelle, who has come out and spoken on the AI artist Xania Monet. Y'all know we recently talked about this. The creator, Miss Talisha Jones, she had an interview on CBS with Gayle King, and she basically laid out her process and how she prompts and inputs her poems and all of this stuff, and she does all of this work on Suno, where Suno is providing the vocals, they're providing the production, and they're providing the vocal production, or how the AI artist is singing the words that are being put into the system. And then she gets these tracks that have been released publicly, allegedly being seen on Billboard. And I only say allegedly being seen on Billboard because they did chart, but we don't know how many actual real people have heard these songs, right? It was announced that the album was on the charts, and it was the first time that I had ever even heard of the music. So there's also some interesting conversations to be had about that, like how many of this of the streams for this artist are actually bots versus real people, right? But nonetheless, K Michelle has come out and she's now threatening to sue because she feels like she hears hints of her voice, right? Which I'm not gonna lie to y'all, in the song that I heard during the news interview, it did sound like some K Michelle, you know what I mean? So I think this is about to get very interesting, all right? Not only has K Michelle spoken out, we also talked about how Kehlani came out and had words for this situation. But now we've also got Baby Tate, who is an artist and songwriter in her own right, who has her own thoughts about the situation, and you can guess it, she's not too keen on this, right? So we're going to get to K Michelle because, once again, she is threatening legal action, okay? So let me go ahead and pull up K Michelle's video where she talks about this, and we'll just keep going from there, all right?
I'm a writer. I can send it. You know what? I don't need nobody to write me no songs right now. I got so much built up tension. AI people using my tones of my voice and all of that. Now I got to go find a lawyer. All type of stuff going on. Last thing I really need is somebody to write me a song. Because once I sit down, this is almost through. Once I sat down, oh my God, the amount of songs I'm going to write. Not just write for me. Write for your favorites and sell. The amount of records. I'm going to make 20 records a week. Okay?
Kimberly Michelle, you need to sue. Okay, K Michelle? I know my girl when I hear her. They stole your voice like Ariel and the Little Mermaid to make this thing, this demonic entity. You should sue, babes. I can't even prove it, but I'm such a fan. I feel you spiritually, even in the demonic entity. I feel that it tried to take your essence, Kimberly Michelle. Sue them people. What is this? And this is a top 5 artist on Spotify. Y'all listening to AI R&B when human black people exist singing they fucking butts off? I really hate that I share Earth with some of you. I hate that whatever air outside that was possibly in you is I'm breathing it. Ew. Ew. What's wrong with y'all? For real.
There's a reason rappers can turn any story into a hit track. Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm with over 1,000 attorneys and more than 100 offices nationwide. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, your case could be worth millions. But the truth is, a lot of people either don't file at all or get taken advantage of by insurance companies. When you hire Morgan & Morgan, it's like hiring a legal army that has your back. If you're injured because of someone else's negligence, you deserve to be paid. No shortcuts, no lowball offers. In fact, they've secured some major verdicts in the past. For example, in Florida, they got a victim who was in a life-altering car crash, $12 million. 34 times the highest insurance offer. They got another victim in Philadelphia, $26 million. 40 times the highest insurance offer. Not all law firms are created equal. Morgan & Morgan is the biggest for a reason. They will fight for the biggest award possible and have won a lot. So if you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless you win. That's right, no upfront costs. They only get paid if you get paid. You can start your claim now by clicking the link in the description or by scanning the QR code on screen from your phone's camera. Again, if you find yourself injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Don't say I never told you nothing, man. All right, so that was K Michelle. She's coming out, and apparently she was on live, and I guess somebody was pitching her a song. I guess that's how she even got on the subject. Somebody says that they could send her a song to where she says, I don't need nobody sending me no songs. I'm a songwriter. I'm an artist myself. I could do this myself. Thank you for the offer. And since I'm on the subject of songs, I'm out here. I got to go talk to my lawyers about people making songs influenced by my style. You know what I mean? With this AI stuff. Now, this is where things get tricky, right? Because I haven't seen anybody personally come out and say, hey, you've taken cues from my music. You know what I mean? I've seen record labels, I've seen, you know, large companies come out and say, y'all are improperly using artists from our catalog who have put lawsuits out on Suno and Udio and stuff like that. And they've eventually worked out deals in order to, you know, legally be incorporated into the machine learning that is Suno, right? But we haven't seen too many individual artists that have come out and blatantly said, y'all are stealing from me specifically, right? So K Michelle might be leading a charge, and I'm sure people in the industry are going to be watching this closely to see how successful she is in taking this to the courts, right? Because in that little snippet that we heard, I don't know the name of that content creator that we saw at the end. Her name wasn't on the screen, who was encouraging K Michelle to sue, right? The song that she played, I guess there's a record by Xania Monet, or who the artist known as, the AI known as Xania Monet. Let's be more specific. There's a song called Behind These Walls. And in there, you can hear, like, in the higher notes, it definitely goes into a very K Michelle type of sound. And K Michelle has a very unique voice. She has a very unique tonality. She has very unique inflections. She has a very unique style in which she presents her music. So if you're a fan of K Michelle, or K Michelle herself hears this, yeah, you're gonna recognize and notice it, right? So with her coming out and setting this up, this could either go really well or really bad. You know what I mean? It really just depends on how far the courts allow this to go, how deep they can dig, how effective her legal team is in, citing the sources to say this is definitively K Michelle that y'all got this from. So it's gonna be tough, man. But I absolutely commend and salute K Michelle in coming forth and letting us know that this is going to be on the precipice. That's something that I would love to keep up with. I hope that she actually follows through and is not just giving lip service to this. I hope that her and her legal team can find the legal grounds to pursue this. This is definitely going to deal with copyright. Um, so I'm supporting it. Fuck it. But again, how deep in the weeds are we going to be able to get, right? Because who was K Michelle previously signed to? You know what I mean? I know she's working with a company in Nashville currently, and I need to get into all of her contracts and stuff. Not contracts, but who she's doing business with, because that's going to be very vital. Who has the partnerships with Suno. So let me actually do that while I'm talking about it. Let me just do a quick briefing of, where her catalog has been residing. So according to Wikipedia, her first album, Rebellious Soul, her second album, Anybody Wanna Buy a Heart, her third album, More Issues Than Vogue, and her fourth album, Kimberly, The People I Used to Know, were all released on Atlantic Records. Okay? It's a big company that's under Warner Music Group. I'm going to check to see where Atlantic and Warner stand in terms of AI, their initiatives, and if they're in partnership with Suno. Her 2020 album, All Monsters Are Human, was released via E1. E1 is I don't want to say independent music company. It's the evolution of what Koch used to be, which was an independent distribution company. It turned into E1, but they are actually owned by Lionsgate Canada, more specifically. Okay, so it's a subsidiary of Lionsgate Studios, and they were acquired in 2019 by Hasbro. Okay, and remember Hasbro, they sold E1's original music distribution company, which is now Monarch Music, to become to Blackstone, which is the same thing that they did with Death Row, which is how Snoop was able to get it back, because he had relationships over at Blackstone. So there's that. But they're under the Lionsgate umbrella, the film studio. Okay? And K Michelle's 2023 project, which was her final R&B album, as she stated. We'll see if that remains true for the foreseeable future. But that was released in 2023 on Chase Landon / Monarch. And of course, Monarch acquired E1. So that label became Monarch. So it's the same umbrella. Okay. Now, as it pertains to her country endeavors, I'm not quite sure where that stuff is going to be released. As I look further into it, her country music will be under BBR Music Group and BMG Nashville. Okay. Now, BMG is a very big publishing company, and I believe BMG actually has some agreements with AI, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm going to look into all this. Okay, so let's get in the weeds with it, right? So I told y'all, remember, her first 3 to 4 albums were released on Atlantic Records, right? And Atlantic is a subsidiary of Warner Music Group. So this is an article that was published on October 16th of this year, where they say Spotify moves further into AI music with Sony Universal Warner partnership. So Warner is also in on the AI, which I was already suspecting, but this is further confirmation. So Spotify announced Thursday which again, this is back in October, that it will be partnering with Sony Music Group, Universal Music Group, Warner Music Group, as well as independent licensing agency Merlin, which has a distribution arm under them as well. And they actually have a lot of reach in the independent music sphere because they actually distribute music for other independent distribution companies, um, almost like a what's the word I'm looking for? Not whitelist, but like white labels. Excuse me, like a white label agency. Anyway, and digital music company Believe, and Believe is also in on a lot of that same thing. I believe, but I, ironically, I believe that Believe is also associated with TuneCore, which is a very popular independent distribution company. Uh, yeah, who I've actually worked with. So that's a little disheartening. To create responsible artificial intelligence products, as they say, responsible in quotations. Although the company did not confirm any specific AI tools in development, Spotify said in a release that it is making significant investments in AI research and product development, including a new AI research lab and product team. Okay, AI is the most consequential technology shift since the smartphone, they say. And it's already reshaping how music is created and experienced. So they're saying this thing is as important as the smartphone revolution, right? And I'm sure most of us watching or partaking in this video have a smartphone. I don't think none of y'all will have a trap phone watching YouTube, okay? But anyway, that's via co-president Gustav Soderstrom in a statement. At Spotify, we want to build this future hand in hand with the music industry, guided by clear principles and deep respect for creators, just as we did in the days of piracy. Spotify said that it hopes to add more rights holders and distributors in the future. The company has already incorporated AI features into its app, including an AI DJ and AI playlist, which rolled out in beta in September, that generates a personalized playlist using written prompts. See, Spotify is trying to be at the spearhead of a lot of this AI stuff. They have thousands of fake AI artists that they're also trying to promote in the midst of other real music. The entertainment industry has expressed rising concerns over harmful AI use infringing on artists' copyrights during the AI boom. UMG CEO Sir Lucian Grain sent a memo to staff on Monday, remember this is a month ago, that the company will not license any model that uses an artist's voice or generates songs incorporating an artist's music without consent. Okay, so this is Lucian Grains, this is UMG, this is not Warner, but they all are in bed together with Spotify on this AI thing. So he says for UMG artists, they will not license any model that uses or incorporates an artist's voice or generates songs incorporating an artist's music without consent. So hopefully, and that is a quote unquote hopefully, that means that artists should be able to receive requests if they want their music processed in the AI or not. Right? That should be an addendum added to their contract or something. It is essential that we work with strategic partners such as Spotify to enable Gen AI products within a thriving commercial landscape in which artists, songwriters, fans, music companies, and technology companies can all flourish, Grain said in a statement. Now, again, Lucian does not speak for Warner. So he says his company won't sign off on artist vocals or music generated from the UMG catalog, so they say, without consent. And I would hope that will mean consent from the artist, not consent from Lucian Grange, because he could always just sign off on some shit and they just have to be down. The partnership comes less than a month after Spotify cracked down on AI slop under the rising threat of viral AI-generated music. The streaming platform removed over 75 million spammy tracks over the past 12 months and rolled out policies to protect artists from AI impersonation and deception. AI-generated band The Velvet Sundown was in the spotlight this summer after racking up 1 million monthly listeners who was listening to him. The band, which later clarified its bio page to say it's a synthetic music project. So people that know what the word synthetic means, you can be able to read that, but just on a surface level, if I saw something that said synthetic music project, I would probably not suspect AI. I would probably suspect that they were just trying to be fancy with how they talked about their project. You know what I'm saying? But it's currently a verified artist on Spotify that has more than 264,000 monthly listeners. Spotify outlined 4 principles the collaboration will focus on: partnerships with labels, distributors, and music publishers, choice and participation, fair compensation and new revenue, and artist-fan connection. Okay? Now, although Warner is included, Warner didn't comment in this article. However, back in 2023, Warner Music CEO, and again, Warner Music is the parent label of Atlantic, whom K. Michelle dropped multiple albums under. The CEO says, framing AI as only a threat is inaccurate. Robert Kinkle touted tech initiatives at the label, including investments in artificial intelligence software and apps to reduce costs and drive market reach for creators. Okay, so in 2023, he says, I don't see AI as strictly a threat. He sees it as also an opportunity. Now remember, the labels for the past couple of years have been significantly cutting jobs and laying people off. Okay? So that's a quote from the CEO of Warner. Even furthermore, just 4 months ago, AI music company Suno, and Suno is the company that Xania Monet songs are being, I don't even want to say created, but are being processed via prompts. They hired former Atlantic Records GM Paul Sinclair as Chief Music Officer, okay? So he went from Atlantic to now being a part of Suno. Suno, one of the most prominent AI music generation companies in the industry, has hired former Atlantic Records General Manager, Executive Vice President Paul Sinclair as Chief Music Officer. In the company's announcement, Suno said Sinclair had already been advising the company for a few months. So he was already advising, quote unquote, prior to even announcing his involvement with the company, which is always interesting to me when people do these little trial runs, but they don't disclose that they're doing it. That's what happens with a lot of signings in the industry too. Adding that in his role as CMO, Sinclair will guide how Suno's AI-powered tools are integrated into the process of songmaking, helping to empower creators of all skill levels. Empower artists of all skill levels. If you have 0 skill, guess what? Come on down to Suno. Make you an album. Make you some songs, baby. Who gives a fuck? Expand creative expression and unlock new experiences between artists and fans. They say, I am so excited that Paul is joining Suno as Chief Music Officer. Suno CEO and co-founder Mikey Schulman said in a statement, the unique perspective he brings to music and technology and his incredible optimism about the future of music will be invaluable as we embark on the next chapter of the Suno adventure, they call it. Okay, they then get into Velvet Sundown, who we just talked about. I don't want to give them any further press. The major record labels sued both Suno and rival AI music generator Udio last year on allegations of massive copyright infringement, and while the suit is still ongoing, the Wall Street Journal reported last month that the labels are negotiating potential licensing agreements to settle the legal matter. Now, this is very key. This piece here. The lawsuits are still ongoing, but the labels are negotiating potential licensing agreements. This is the same thing that happened with the existence of Spotify, right? Spotify came on the scene. They dropped their app. They dropped their website. They had all types of industry artists on there. And you could go in there and just play the music, right? And eventually the labels caught hold of it and say, yo, what y'all doing over there? We finna sue y'all. Y'all are uploading our artist music and y'all are aggregating it in one place without our consent, right? And at that very moment, they could have squashed Spotify and made sure that they were no more, right? Same way they did to Napster. Same way they did to the early iteration of Rhapsody, the app, not the rapper. But instead, they decided to negotiate licensing agreements, which then enabled Spotify to house that music, and they had to give up ownership of the company to the labels, right? So now we have Suno and Udio, these two major AI generators. They're being sued by the big labels in the music industry. They could have been squashed immediately, but instead of squashing them, they say, well, let's negotiate. So the labels are selling motherfuckers out, just plain and simple. Sinclair had previously worked at Atlantic for over 17 years, first joining the company in 2006 as head of innovation and digital strategy. He left at the end of 2024 amid the wider shakeup at the famed label after Elliot Grange took the helm and other long-tenured executives, including Julie Greenwald, left. Now, they say left as if she wasn't forced out of her position. Okay? So we know for sure that somebody directly from the Atlantic pipeline has taken a position over at Suno. Now, as it pertains to K. Michelle's current label partner, Monarch Music Group, I haven't seen anything about them partnering with Suno. I haven't seen them come out and say anything about licensing their artists' music for AI usage, but I do know that they have AI partnerships with a company called RHEI or Ray. I don't know how you pronounce that, but that's basically for AI based marketing for the music. Basically having like an AI agent or a team of AI agents marketing your music. So slippery slope, right? But that's all the information I have pertaining to K. Michelle and potential AI issues. Now, to take it a little further, remember, we also have Baby Tate, who's come out and spoken out against this Xania Monet character and AI in R&B and just in music, period. So I'm going to go ahead and play her video where she also detests these prompters who want to all of a sudden become musicians.
As Gayle King said, but you can't sing. I just saw this Xania Monet Gayle King interview and I have words and thoughts. First of all, girl, what the fuck? At the very least, you couldn't have somebody make a beat. You couldn't have somebody produce something for you. You just typing in a prompt and you letting AI make the whole fucking song for you. Oh, word. But you're doing all the work, right? You're not doing any work. Oh my God. The girl can't even sing. You could at the very least, like the bare minimum, you could at least put your non-singing vocal into an AI processor and then like change the tone. But you can't even do that. You just type some fucking words. All you doing is typing. Oh my God. This is what music is to y'all? Typing? Then people are like, oh, well, obviously people like it because it's on Billboard. You want to know why it hit Billboard? Because one thing about curiosity is always going to murder that puss, okay? People are like, oh my God, did you guys hear about this AI artist? And they're like, what? No, let me go check it out. Then they go and check it out. Then they tell somebody else to check it out. Then somebody else checks it out. Then multiple people are checking it out. All y'all doing is giving this bullshit ass shit some streams. You know the aunties and the grandmas don't even
can't even fathom the concept of AI for real, for real. They just listening to these bullshit ass songs about black trauma at that. Like, oh, you pissing me off. You pissing me off actually bad. As a writer, as an artist, I feel so disgusted, disrespected, and I'm not behind it at all. I don't fuck with AI. I don't fuck with what y'all are doing. A lot of y'all are like, this is the future. AI is the future. You're a loser. You're a loser and you're a lazy fuck. That's what you are. And as I said, at the very least, if you're going to be using AI, you could at least really write a song. She's not even really writing a full song. That's what's pissing me off too. You're not even making the song structure. AI is making the song structure for you. Oh my God. Get out of my face. But at the very least, if you're going to use it, you could go in and really write the fucking song. You could go in and really ask somebody to make a beat. And I just saw Eric Bellinger today talking about, I got all these songs that I'm not going to use, or like da-da-da. That I still don't really love, but I can at least respect as a writer that you're really writing these fucking songs. You just putting another voice on it. I get that. I really do. But this shit.
All right, baby Tate ain't having that neither. All right, and I'm 1,000% with her. I did see Eric Bellinger come out the other day doing an interview talking about how he's taking like all these other songs that he has in his catalog that are just kind of like sitting, that I guess no other artist has picked up, and I guess he's going to take those records. He's singing them, he's producing them, but he's taking the vocals and processing them as different voices using AI, right? So he's singing using his voice and then processing it to sound like another guy, another woman. I guess you can have like different selections of how you want the voice filter to come out. I'm not crazy about that either. I'm not supporting that neither. Um, Eric Bellinger's talented. I say, bruh, put the songs out yourself or sell them to another artist. But I do understand, because he said he's signing an AR artist and he's going to do it that way. And the idea of that is, unfortunately, based on the way that songwriters are treated in the music industry, I feel like this is a way for him to get the songs out um, through another artist, quote unquote, but still be able to have a substantial stake in the music when it comes out. Because let's say he goes and sells a song to, you can insert artist name, Chris Brown, Tank, whomever the fuck, right? A lot of the standard practice in the music industry is, even if you wrote and produced a record, that artist is gonna want to have ownership in that song. They're gonna want to have publishing in the song, even though they didn't write a damn thing. Um, and they may end up taking more of the lion's share of the percentages than the person who wrote it, because it's coming out via this artist. Whereas if he wrote and produced it, he gets to remain the owner. He gets all of the credits, and then he could still have the so-called desired voice to perform the record on wax, that is. But then when it comes to actual performance, that's a whole nother trick bag, right? So I'm not really here for it. I get it. I get the mind frame of it, because you're still monetizing on your original ideas. But just find a fucking singer, bro. Like, y'all have access. You know how many fucking singers would love to come sing a goddamn Eric Bellinger song? You know what I'm saying? You know how many fucking singers would love to come to the studio and lay down your demos and put them bitches out? And they'll probably willingly give you the fucking credits, because they don't know no better. I'm like, shit, I didn't write the record. Shit, just pay me studio fees. Hell, sign me to the label. Put out the music. Give me a performance royalty or something. You know what I mean? Give me a piece of the master or something. Fuck it. Take all the pub. You wrote and produced it, nigga. Just help me get out there. Fuck. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Same shit with Timbaland. So, you know what I mean? Like, you know how many people would love to be the person delivering the shit that you wrote and produced? But because you may not be able to sell it to Beyonce or this one or that one, the person you got your eye on, you say, fuck it, man. I'm gonna do AI and get it as close to Beyonce as I can get it. And because I wrote and produced it, I'm gonna act like, you know, it's all good. Nah, nigga, it ain't all good. Fuck that shit, nigga. Because it took Beyonce's vocals to be processed in the AI to even be able to get close to what the fuck she do. And I bet you she ain't gonna tell you that she signed off on that shit. But of course, Columbia, Sony, they're in bed with these AI companies, man. And they're doing these, like I said before, they're doing these blanket deals. It enriches their pockets, but then the actual creators who made the records ain't gonna get shit off it. I don't support it at all. Baby Tate, her mom is a motherfucking vocalist, singer, songwriter. Deion Ferris. We talking about Tennessee, Arrested Development. We talking about Wild Seed, Wild Flower, a very popular album, an influential album. She was signed to Columbia. Who's to say her vocals ain't being used to produce a Xania Monet or whoever else these other AI artists are? You think Miss Deion Ferris signed off on that shit in 1993? No. It's all fucked up, man. Shout out to Miss Deion, by the way, man. She always showed love to me. I always got to shout her out when her name comes up. But that's what I got for y'all on this, man. Miss K. Michelle, I support you in this endeavor 1000%. You know what I'm saying? Shit, if you did a GoFundMe to get some funds up, I might even fucking donate. You know what I'm saying? If you need a reference to somebody that you can't get to that I know, shit, I don't even want no finder's fee. Go do the motherfucking thing. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one, man. Y'all be good out there. Peace.
Yeah, family over fame in this bitch, yeah. The glory of living righteous is setting in. My street knowledge and education's a perfect blend. Young mogul, independent, I've been setting trends. The first one from my family to be faithfully wed. Fuck niggas and the horses that they riding on. I see this shit from all angles like a polygon. I'm never politicking, the drama be piling on. Father and great son acknowledged like I'm Bobby Bonds. Conversation with my lady about the paper route. 5 sit bank accounts, every day I make it count. They down talking my commentary for hating now. Well, I can take it cause I'm bodying your favorite now, please. I can do this shit in my sleep. I been writing for these niggas, y'all read it and weep. I been fighting these niggas if you speak on the street. I turn your birthday party into New Year's Eve. Don't let me take it there. We ain't playing fair. This the ATL, Southside nigga moving furniture like Wayfair. Life on hold, no insurance for your healthcare. Lifeline gone, so you wanna be a millionaire? Well, let me tell you about this world I built. The women I dodged, the niggas that I ran for filth. The